Hey everybody, in this episode of the Effective E-commerce Podcast, we're going to be doing the top 20 best e-commerce tools and services, part 2. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, go check that out. You don't need to see part 1 or listen to part 1 to see part 2. It's just 10 more e-commerce tools and services. And this is hugely helpful. I'll recap at the end of this episode the ones from last week's podcast episode. So let's just jump into it right now. So number 11, remember this is a continuation of the top 20. So we're going to start with number 11. We have Zendesk, and we'll talk more about what Zendesk is and how it can be really helpful. Number 2, SEO Moz, I believe it is. Number 13, Optimizely. Number 14, LastPass. Number 15, Bluehost, which I love. Number 16, Good Business Credit Card. You should have a good business credit card. That's a great, I think, service or tool. It's a great tool, and I'll explain why later. Number 17, MailChimp and Klaviyo. Number 18, SumoMe. Number 19, Zapier. And number 20, some kind of remarketing, setting up remarketing, basically. I hate Admiral. Do not use Admiral. They will charge you way more. They'll overcharge. There's a bunch of stuff. I set up Admiral originally, which if you don't know, it's a platform that will remarket for you, but they don't optimize it. It's very poorly done. So it doesn't take that long to set it up yourself. I will have some episode. If I don't already have some videos out on it yet, I will have some videos out soon on how to set up remarketing, but definitely skip Admiral. So let's start with number 11. Now, number 11 is something that I haven't used too much, to be honest, but all my friends talk about how great it is, and it's something I'm going to set up eventually, and that is Zendesk. So Zendesk is basically a customer service ticketing type platform. So if you've ever gone to a website and submitted something to customer service and said, oh, right, you have a ticket created, it's ticket number, whatever. Pretty much all big companies do this. The way it works is my full understanding. Once again, I haven't used it yet, but it makes a lot of sense as for bigger companies. The way that it works is that people, let's say someone gets ticket number 1, someone gets ticket number 2, all the way to 1,000. So let's say you're getting 1,000 requests a day. You can have multiple service people working on it, and they can assign tickets to themselves, and they can escalate them. They can do all kinds of stuff. It just keeps everything organized. Right now, the way I handle customer service with BeatAnswer is honestly just using Gmail. And my method is our email is set up so when someone sends us an email, it goes to Gmail, and we have a policy of inbox zero, basically. So if you handle an email and once it's done, you delete it. If you have to escalate it, quote unquote, you put it in a special folder. And so we have one folder called the Cindy check folder or the Travis check folder, and we'll check it depending on what it is. But for the most part, we just delete the email once you've responded to it. Don't start responding to it until you're ready to complete it, basically. But this ticketing system is a better way of doing it. We don't have enough issues right now, and we only have really 1 or 2 people that handle customer service. It's not that big of an issue for us, but Zendesk is a good way to make it a little bit more efficient. Number 2 on this list, number 12 really, is SEO Moz. That's SEO Moz. And this is, I've done the free trials. I've never actually paid for the service, but it's worth doing, especially at the beginning of a company. You can look up your competitors and you can look up their backlinks. You can look up a bunch of their things. So what I recommend doing is making a list of all your competitors or companies that are somewhat similar to yours. See where their backlinks come from and reach out to those blogs, reach out to those websites, whatever it is, and see if there's a way you can get a backlink from them as well. This is a pretty powerful tool. And it's something also you can just kind of keep tabs on your competitors and see where they're getting their backlinks from, but also like what is their ranking. And anytime someone asks me, oh, I have a website, oh, I have a blog, and I don't know if it's a legit blog or not, I'll pop it into SEO Moz and look at their backlinks and look at what their score is. And if they don't have a very high score, I'll tell them, no, I'm not going to send you a free box. But if they have a high score, I'm like, hell yeah, I'll send you a free box. Why not? So number 13, Optimizely. Number 13, Optimizely. I think they're changing their pricing model. It was pretty cool before. I think it was free as long as you have under 50,000 visitors a month. And the way it works is it's a split testing platform. So it's definitely worth it. If you want to do some split testing, it makes it very, very easy to split test things. So you can basically say, hey, should the button on my website be green or should it be red? Should the header image say free shipping or should it be a picture of our product? You can test a bunch of things. I'm not going to belabor that point too much, but Optimizely is great if you want to split test. Number 14, we got LastPass. LastPass is a great tool, even if you're just a one-person business, but it's very important if you're a multi-person business. And what it does is it saves your passwords. And I know what you're thinking, like that's not that big of a deal. First off, it saves you a lot of time when you don't have to go looking up passwords. So that in itself makes the service worth it. But the other thing that it does that I find very much worthwhile is I can have my virtual assistant put in the LastPass plugin, log in with their own personal account, and I can share passwords with them, and they won't even know what the password is, which is great because it provides some privacy for you. So if all of a sudden I need to fire a virtual assistant, and don't worry, Adrian, I'm not firing you, but like which has happened in the past where I've had to fire a virtual assistant, it's very easy just to say, click on their LastPass account and unregister them. So, as opposed to, let's say I've shared 50 sites with them, having to go and change the password to 50 sites, I can just very simply click one button on LastPass and it'll delete them. So LastPass, I think it's like $9 a year. It's very inexpensive. Number 15 is Bluehost. And I think it was on my 25th birthday, I bought myself either a 2 or 3 year plan. I think it was a 3-year plan to Bluehost. The best birthday present I've ever given myself. I don't give myself a lot of birthday presents, but Bluehost is a hosting service provider, basically. So if you're looking to host websites, so right now, Shopify, for instance, which is a great platform, you're paying them not only for the service, but also to host your website. Bluehost isn't going to give you any service. They will offer to host a WordPress site, which I have probably about 10 WordPress sites, at least 10 Word. So every time I want to come up with a new site, if I have a Bluehost account, it's free. I have to pay for the Bluehost account for the first time, and it's, I think, somewhere between $4 to $7 a month, depending. I think there's higher end plans, of course, but it's right around that cost range for unlimited websites, for unlimited email storage, for like all this great stuff. And I do have a link for that, effectiveecommerce.com/Bluehost. Sign up using my link. As always, I will give you a free one-on-one consulting session. And I think any serious internet marketer should have a Bluehost account because it allows you to put up a new WordPress site effortlessly. It's like the easiest thing in the world to do. So definitely check out Bluehost. Number 16, some kind of a good business credit card. So a lot of people I know, they start a business and they just use their personal credit card for all their transactions, which is a nightmare. And part of the reason it's so bad is for accounting purposes. So right away, you should get a new bank account. You should get a new credit card. But there's other benefits to a good business credit card. You can get points. So I just recently flew to Hawaii totally for free. I've flown to Italy for free, Buenos Aires for free. I actually flew my parents to Italy for free as well. I've flown to a bunch of different places and stayed in a bunch of hotels, all for free, using a good business credit card. Which ones do I recommend? It depends. If you're doing a lot of advertising spend, you might want the Gold Amex card. If you're just doing a lot of general spend, you can get like a 2x cash back card, like the Spark business card, which is pretty good. I think it has a $500 sign-up bonus, something like that. There's a bunch of cards on my website. Go to effectiveecommerce.com, click on the little online store tools section, and you can see all the top cards, and there's some bonuses in there. And those are, most of them are affiliate links, which means you still get a great offer. You get the best offer on the market, but on top of that, I get a small kickback. So as a thank you, always happy to do that free one-on-one consulting session if you use one of my services. But getting a good business credit card, I've gone through 15 different credit cards over the last few years, and it's paid for a lot of flights. And it doesn't hurt your credit score. Contrary to what people think, it doesn't really hurt your credit score pretty much at all. So number 17 is MailChimp and or Klaviyo. MailChimp is, you get your first 2,000 email subscribers for free, which is a great thing. So if you're setting up a business, set up a MailChimp account right away. And then if you want to graduate to a more premium version, we do have, they do have Klaviyo. And Klaviyo, what makes Klaviyo so helpful is it has a lot of like triggering things. So you can say, if someone has ordered more than once, I want to send them this special offer. I want to send it makes it a lot easier to put people into different buckets and send them different types of emails. You can do that in MailChimp too. Don't get me wrong, but Klaviyo is a little bit more user-friendly. It gets a little bit more data from Shopify. So it plugs into Shopify, it plugs into Ecommerce, and you can get a lot of information. It's basically a complete CRM, a customer relationship management tool. So you can see, okay, not only did they purchase from us on this date, they came back and visited the website on this date, and whatever, they seem like they're interested. And I think it's more powerful if you have a larger company. Personally, I think MailChimp does 90% of what you need, 95% of what you need, maybe even. And they do have an automation tool in MailChimp as well. So when someone places an order from Bedansware, for instance, I send them a new email every week for like 12 weeks. And it's automatically set up. So for first-time customers, they get our first email is our DIY handbook, and it shows them how to DIY a dance costume. Then a week later, they get introduced to our YouTube channel and all this good stuff. And if you sign up, go to effectiveecommerce.com. I have a link to both those, effectiveecommerce.com/MailChimp and effectiveecommerce.com/Klaviyo, which is Klaviyo, which is like the worst name ever. There's links on the website. But what I was going to say actually is sign up to my email for the free online store success pack, and you'll see I use MailChimp, and I have an automated sequence for you to check out. Number 18 is SumoMe. And through SumoMe, they have a lot of different services, but the one I like the best is their pop-up. So if you really want just like a cheap, easy exit intent pop-up, it's like $10 a month. Check out SumoMe. I'm not going to talk too much about this. I mean, they have a ton of features, but basically, if you're looking for a good exit intent pop-up, SumoMe, $10. You can do a little bit of customization. I think there's a free version too. There's a free version that works really well, but I think it's worth paying $10 a month. So let's get to something a little bit sexier, and that is Zapier. And Zapier is spelled Zapier. And what Zapier does is it connects different APIs. And what APIs, it connects different websites together. What I mean by this is I can connect Shopify with MailChimp, for instance, or I can connect MailChimp with Google Sheets. So one example is every time I get a new email subscriber in MailChimp, I want Google Sheets to put their name in a Google Sheet. And Zapier does this connection in between very, very easily. You could write your own code using Google Script, but Zapier will do this pretty easily. I'll also use it to send out, I use it to all kinds of things, connecting different services. It's anything that you wish that you could have one website talk to another website. There's a good chance that Zapier does that. And it does connect with Shopify, so that is very helpful. But yeah, I've used it for a number of different things. I highly recommend checking it out, seeing where you could automate your business. And then finally, number 20, this is last on the list. Do not use Admiral. I highly recommend against using Admiral, but set up some kind of remarketing. And I recommend just going directly through Facebook ads, doing remarketing ads through Facebook, and going through Google and the Google Display Network and setting up remarketing ads using Google. So that was a lot of stuff right there. Let's go over the entire list one more time. Number 1, onlinejobs.ph. Number 2, Google Sheets and Docs. Number 3, Google Script. Number 4, Google Analytics. Number 5, Upwork. Number 6, 99 Designs. Number 7, Fiverr. Number 8, Jungle Scout. Number 9, Feedback Genius. Number 10, Hotjar. Number 11, Zendesk. Number 12, SEO Moz. Number 13, Optimizely. Number 14, LastPass. Number 15, Bluehost, which is a great service. Highly recommend that. Number 16, getting a good business credit card. Number 17, MailChimp and or Klaviyo. Probably or. Don't get both of them. Number 18, SumoMe. Number 19, Zapier. And number 20, personally, I very much dislike Admiral, but setting up some kind of remarketing. I guess I don't need to beat that into the ground too much. Remarketing. Number 20 is remarketing. And make sure if you're listening to the podcast, go to effectiveecommerce.com, click on the tools section, sign up using any of these tools. It's going to be a better price, usually using my link, or at most the same price. And I'll give you that free 30-minute one-on-one consultation session. Plus, you'll just be helping out the podcast. If you're watching the YouTube video, I do have links up above and down below for a lot of these different services. And that's pretty much it for this episode. Make sure if you enjoy it, leave that 5-star review on iTunes for a chance to win another free one-on-one consulting sessions. I'm just giving these out like crazy to people that help me out. So thank you guys for your support. I really do appreciate it, and have a great rest of your week.